Hello, Spin Snaker here with another figure review. This time we've got the Batman Arkham Origins Killer Croc from the DC Collectibles range. This is my first Arkham Origins review, as I've been going over the Arkham City and Asylum figures. I got this guy along with Bane, Arkham City Riddler, another Hush, and I'm forgetting someone. Oh, and a Batman, which I will be reviewing from a trade off of someone else. So I'm very happy that I got these guys that are very great. We're both very happy with our trade-off. So absolutely ecstatic. So on to this guy. I think this figure is somewhat of a hit and miss. He's got so many great qualities, but at the same time such bad qualities. But I do think he is overall a really nice figure. I'm going to do a comparison between this guy and the Arkham City or Asylum Croc. Not quite sure how they kind of go from one to the other, because they do look like completely different figures. In fact, let's do that now. Let me just stand him up straight. This guy is a massive figure. He is absolutely huge. And I just pinched my... just caught my finger in his joint. Okay, so let's put him here. Oh my god, I can barely fit him in my camera. Right, and then if I grab the beast, the Arkham City Killer Croc here, you can see they're kind of fundamentally the same height, but their looks are completely different. And for me, I think that's kind of a bit weird. I mean, I guess maybe he could mutate from, because Origins, if for those of you who don't know, Arkham Origins is the prequel to Arkham City and Asylum. So basically he starts out like this and ends up like this. Don't get how. When he loses weight, stars, because he's skinny on the waist, but he's bigger on the chest. His arms are bigger. I don't know. But, you know, they're kind of consistent in height. If we do a back view as well. If he wants to stand. Come on, Crocky. There you go. This one, on the other hand, may not want to stand. His ankles are quite loose on this one, as I said, second hand. But you can see his back looks just like as you would expect from a crocodile. Whereas this one just looks kind of like a crocodile, but a bit more, just a bit scaly. But I prefer the mould on like his arms and that. I think they look better. I'll go over the detail a bit more closer. I just wanted to do a comparison, get that over and done with. Off the bat, which one do I prefer? I think I prefer this guy. Yeah, I think his bulk, his general look, I do prefer. And I'm digging the chains. This guy is not a bad looking figure though. The greens I'm a bit... I think this one's a bit more maybe realistic colour wise, and I don't know, you don't see, the problem is you don't see Croc from the Arkham City and Arkham Asylum games outside of the, you know, captured areas. You know, you never see him outside, or I think he makes a brief appearance in Arkham City, I can't remember, but I still think he's wearing these. So let's get him to one side. Oh, sorry. This guy though, he's yeah, I mean, he does look very cool. And sorry, you can see he's a massive figure. Let me do the size comparisons, get that over and done with as well, and then we'll go over detail. Here is the Batman Legacy Batman, and here is the Arkham City DC Direct Batman. Not much needs to be said really, is there? He is a phenomenally massive figure. Now, he retails is actually a really reasonable price. I got him, like I said, in a trade, but I could have brought him myself for £25 posted. I think less than that, actually, £24 posted. That is very good value for money for this size of figure. Plus, his articulation is actually pretty decent. I got a gripe, but it's not massive. I think the price for this guy is actually really good. So if I was you guys, I would snag him and then I would maybe sell him at a later day if you don't want him. But for me, I think he's a great figure. The detail, we'll go over that now. The detail from the waist up is actually really good. The face sculpt, as you can see, it's very menacing. The eyes are very, very intense, very piercing eyes. But he's got these like teeth kind of poking through, so it's like the start of maybe where his mouth might turn into the other one. But he's got a very defined jawline, which I think is a bit weird as well. Whereas the Arkham City one, it's, if I grab him again, you can see his jawline is like very rounded and it's very spiky and pointy, so a lot more animalistic. If I remember rightly from the character, the Killer Croc does evolve. If I remember rightly, I haven't read old Batmans for a long time. But yeah, oh sorry, my camera. But he's got all these teeth like poking out. Now, there's a little bit of sculpture on, but for me they just look a bit more like a bit of paint just like dotted on. So not the best. He's got a bit of paint bleed on his nose there. It's a shame. Not the best in my opinion on the teeth. The ones in his actual mouth though are pretty cool and I do like them. And like I said, as with his eyes, they're very, very menacing. And his ears, I think he loses them. And the sculpt, the texture to his head is also very, very cool. Very cool. Along with these massive shoulders. He's got very big shoulders. And they're really well sculpted. So like I said, you can see all this detail. All of this, every little scale is sculpted in. Nothing's just painted on. And that's really impressive to me. And that's what I do like about this guy. It does hinder slightly, but not as much. All these ones on his chest. Everything just absolutely sculpted and absolutely beautiful. And then if you go down to his bandages on his hands. Now, I remember seeing, I think it was from maybe the Hush storyline. He had a lot of bandages on his wrists. And I think even, I want to say from the Nightfall storyline, but it's been a long time since I read that. So I believe this is quite true to classic comic Hulk, which is Hulk. Sorry, I get confused by the green. Croc. So that's cool. I do like these. I think these are very, very nice. The trousers are kind of probably the biggest gripe to me, the way they look. I don't like them. They're too neat. And they're too... I don't know, just I don't know why I don't like them. It's not just in the figure, it's in the actual design of the character, so I can't really gripe too much about that. He's got, as you can see, the suspenders. They're of softer rubber, so they don't really get any articulation whatsoever. This one's broken, so you only have the one going over this leg and this little bit here. Next door, just the one at the back there. The bit I don't like is while I'm zoomed in on this area, you can see right through to my finger. I don't like that. And in this day and age, that should not happen. I mean, it helps with articulation. I think DC Direct put too much emphasis on pushing the leg backwards. You don't really need to push a leg that far back. Sorry, I was standing him. DC Directs or collectables. And then, sorry, I forgot to go over the sculpt on his feet is also really, really nice. He's got the bandages again over the toes, or over the feet, and the toenails are painted. And this is a separate piece, which I'll go over in the articulation. All in all, I am happy with the detail and the paintwork. I do think it does look nice. Kind of from my here up. It's just, this is a bit blah to me. There's not much mould into them. There's a bit, but not much. You hear that? Thud. Just, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I think I prefer the Arkham City one, in my opinion. I think he's the better of the two. I think he looks a bit more menacing. This guy kind of looks like maybe a younger brother or something, you know. Okay, so let me push him back. Stand him up. Make sure I'm fully zoomed out. I'm going to have to come back myself. And let's try and go over the articulation. I've got Batman's in the way there. One sec. Okay, so articulation. The head is kind of weird. It can go up that much and down that much. You can get a bit of a rotation, but not much. You can also kind of go turn it left and turn it right, but again, not that much. So quite realistic way it moves. Maybe a bit more to left and right would have been better, but it's okay. You can get some quite menacing, like, tilted glares coming out of him. The shoulders, I believe, are on ball hinges, but they're not that high. That's as high as that one goes. This one a bit higher. Might even go a bit further, but I'm scared. I've had a couple of DC Directs break on me, but I will go over that later. So that high. You can go around full 360 degrees around. They kind of, you think these would hinder, but they just, you don't really get to them. They kind of stop. So That's good. He has a bicep rotation, a full 360 degrees. And then he has an elbow rotation, which I only noticed the other day, but it's quite hindered by the mould. But it is there. It is a separate. He can bend, not quite 90, but still pretty good. And then he has a wrist rotation, and then they can pivot from there to there. So pretty good in the arms. He has an ab crunch, which I think is epic. Loving that. It's one of the first times I've seen an ab crunch in a DC Direct figure. Or collectible, sorry. Go forward that much. And he can go back that much. So it's a pretty decent ab crunch. You can really get him like hovering over Batman. He has a waist cut. Full 360 degrees at the waist. That looks so weird. He has T-cut hips. So we can go forward to that. And we can go back to that. See, that's what I was saying. You don't need, it's hindered by this bit here. So you can't go back that far. So you could have easily kind of come this down a bit further, but whatever. Now they do grow out, and they're on those plastic, see-through plastic joints that I'm terrified of breaking. And they're really stiff. So I'm going to do this as gentle as I can, so bear with me. That's as far as it goes out, and it's the same on the other side. I am not going to do splits just in case it puts too much strain. Like I said, these things break. He has a single bend in the knee. He can bend that far. But there's a rotation at the knee and can rotate 360 degrees around. Will be hindered by the sculpt of the trousers here. So you can go to there, and then you have to pull it out a bit if you want to go all that far. And he has an ankle point from there to there with an actual ankle pivot. Again, first time I've seen this in a DC Collectibles. I haven't got any of the other Arkhams though, so they might all have it for all I'm aware. I don't think Firefly does. I think Deathstroke may, and he's the one I'm going to be getting next if I get one. Kind of umming and ahhing, trying to save up my spending. Okay, so final thoughts. What do I think of this figure? I do think he is a gorgeously sculpted figure, and I think he is actually a really great value for money for his size, because he is absolutely massive. Let me grab the hat quickly. Let's get a couple others. I showed you the Batmans already. There's Joker and Miss Quinn. So as you can see, we'll go for one more. Here we go. Here's Ra's al Ghul. Some villains there. So you can see he's absolutely towering. I don't have any. Well, I do have another Arkham Origins figure, but I'll show you them too in the next video. Grab a tape measure. He stands a whopping 10 inches tall. So he is absolutely massive. Standing him next to some of the other deluxe. Here I have Mr. Freeze, who I'm a bit annoyed at, as you guys will know from my previous video. Come on, Freezy. And I showed you Croc already. And then I'll tease the one I'm doing next. Bane. But like I said, really is an awesome figure. Very, very cheap these as the game's only come out, and these guys have only just come out, so you can pick them up from most retailers that do them for in the UK around the £25 margin. I've seen them on eBay for around the same kind of margin. US, don't know, I'm sure you could probably get them cheaper. But if you like the game and you're a fan of the character, definitely a pickup. Like I said, my overall gripes is kind of, this is a bit blah for me. This could be better, but it's okay. It's not terrible. It just could be better in my opinion. Anyway guys, as per usual, that's my review. Thanks a lot for watching. Please leave any comments below. Please subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in my next one. Bye bye.